And we've returned, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for game number 2. Could be our last game of the series. Empire now have them right where they want them. They've got Hellraisers on match point for 1, possibly 2 games. One more win, and they're in as at least a wildcard team, which means you're guaranteed prize money, you get the paid trip to China, and you have a chance to play in to the main event. That's right. This is the Dota 2 Asia Championships, brought to you for your English coverage by Beyond the Summit. A $1.5 million tournament, and rising. I'm LD. I'm joined here by the good old Dakota KOTLguy. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, David. Thank you so much.
Good.
So, Empire Hellraisers, man, game number 1. It was a bit back and forth for a while, but then Empire pretty much just took control, and there was no looking back. And we were questioning if letting the brew go was a bit of a mistake. Well, we'll find out if it was or not, because they just banned the Wisp again, the Tidehunter, the same 1-2 ban that Hellraisers had previously. Now, Empire grab up that brew and Rubik again. We saw Aloha Dance had a fantastic Rubik game previously. They do ban out the Jug and the Slark. They still have a couple of openings here if they want to go for it. I want the Chen. I think they should take this opportunity to grab up the Chen and just round out the support duo now, though. It could be a bit risky if you grab such a greedy, selfish support. But, well, we're hoping that Hellraisers, regardless, can throw together a solid draft, because we want to take this to a game number 3. That's when these series are at their most intense, you know?
Yeah, I do want to mention Hellraisers have the pocket Drow Ranger that they could bring out. You wanted to see the Chen for Goddamn. There's also the Enigma. Either of those could go really well with a Drow Ranger pick. Troll is another hero they've run in the past for F and Ninja, and it might be nice just to run some sort of push strat against Empire, because I feel like Empire are just a little bit more polished with their movements later on. Like when it comes to those mid-game ganks, these guys just have been playing together for ages and in bigger tournaments than most of the Hellraiser players. Not to say Hellraisers can't do it, but I think that would be at least a good way to catch them off guard. So, curious to see if they think about something like that. They ban out the Ancient Apparition, which normally is a telltale sign that you are considering a little bit more of a push. So let's see how Empire look to respond. Insta-Drow ban, no questions asked. Well, so much for that idea.
There's a lot of other things you can go for if you want to go for a heavy assaulting push. Yeah, it's not as luxurious as having the extra bit of bonus per globally from someone like Drow, but there's still some potential options there. We'll have to see what they consider dipping for. They also banned out that AA, so maybe they are potentially considering some sort of sustain, Necro, Dazzle, anyone who can offer, you know, that little bit of extra healing power that someone like AA would just be the Achilles heel for. So something to look for, and they're tired of that Doom. Got to get rid of it. And I think that's a smart ban right there.
Doom banned out by Hellraisers. Interesting stuff. I think that's the right idea, though. Empire seem to thrive when they have the overwhelming ability to just crush you in a team fight, and they like to fight. They're good at forcing it, and Doom is just excels in that. So the main hero that's still out there is this Enigma, but ooh, forgot about this guy. Lycan has been pretty much not entirely ignored, but not particularly common as of late, and Empire gonna pick him up here. The 3rd pick. There was a stage where Lycan was just insta-banned in the first phase, but those days seem to be behind us.
I feel like that's just where the trends come in. It's just like, if Lycan starts trending, he'll be red hot again, and people will just keep picking him up and rolling with it, and they'll keep ignoring some of the heroes that were once also extremely popular. I mean, what happened to Faceless Void? What happened to the Faceless Void, the Death Prophet, and all this stuff? I know they were tweaked and altered a bit, but it seems like the Juggernaut's the new Faceless Void, and they just have all these new fresh faces, but we were saying at the very start of the day that we welcome that. I welcome fresh faces. I welcome new up-and-coming teams and new Dota heroes getting to come into the mix. So I say that, but I'm not really seeing a whole lot of new potential here. They banned out that Chen, by the way, so we're not going to get to see the luxurious
I would love to see them go for the Axe, just something really aggressive in the lanes. Take the fight to this Lycan early, especially with the Brew pick. You can run Brew off lane or side lane, but generally he's going to be mid, and if that puts Lycan in a side lane, that's where you could really punish him. But Hellraisers go Disruptor, which is generally not the ideal aggressive support, so they seem to have something more team fight centric, more mid-game oriented here. Good against the Brew, obviously, for the Static Storm. Let's see where they go next.
I was going to say a good option if they wanted a secondary support that offers a little bit what Axe has and a little bit of the heal because they were banning out the A would have been like a Tree. Tree has the lockdown of the ultimate to hold Lycan in his place so he can't really, just easily sprint on out in race car mode. And
the Brewmaster split, actually.
Yeah. So, but they're not going to go for that. Disruptor, though, I mean, I already preached about him a bit. What he offers here, though, seems a bit questionable. It's not like, except for just the Brew. It's clear that the Disruptor is there just to make sure they have the extra silence already to tack on top of what Puck's got, just to make sure Brew isn't able to just kind of get his ult off so easily. But hey, you asked about a troll, or at least for Hellraiser's side, it's Empire who are going to kind of roll with the troll here. It's another pretty greedy lineup here, and 3 cores already? Is this a off lane? One of these is an off laner.
So
what is going on?
I guess off lane Brew, safe lane Lycan, troll mid is probably the way they'll run this.
Yeah.
The thing that worries me for Hellraisers is their D push is not that good. Disruptor's not that good at stopping pushes in terms of clearing waves. Vengeful Spirit isn't really that good on her own. Puck's the only hero that has good wave clear here, but they get something that adds a lot. They'll pick up a Shadow Fiend now. The damage reduction from Requiem of Souls is really nice against these types of heroes that tend to clump up, jump on top of you. He also has good wave clear, so I think it's a... I'm not sure how well the Shadow Fiend's going to work later on in the big team fights, but I'm excited, man, to see a Shadow Fiend at all, so... I'll be rooting for Hellraisers for sure in this game.
Nothing says like Hellraisers like someone like a Shadow Fiend also. It just kind of fits with their whole scheme. Yeah, it just works so well. And it is Radiant side Shadow Fiend, so that's where a lot of people feel he's at its best, being able to quickly have access to those side camps to farm up easily. Plus the Ancients are not too far away. And you got the extra bonus synergy right there with your minus armor and Vengeful Spirit, who will probably tack on top of that a medallion. So definitely have a lot of potential there to rip through any sort of, potential strong force that Empire could build up. But that's putting pressure on Shadow Fiend to make sure he can get a lot out of that mid lane. And we've seen from Empire already, they love to rotate around. They love to pressure the mid laners and make their life a living hell. And we'll have to see how good of a lane Shadow Fiend will have. I mean, he's got the aid of a Vengeful Spirit, but I feel like Vengeful is going to be more busy trying to zone back whoever the offlaner will end up being. So I love the Shadow Fiend grab just because he's always a crowd pleaser and enjoys, and we all enjoy watching him. It's just far as being convinced on what he can really attribute to this game. I think if Team Empire want to, they can round out their draft with a great additional pushing support here. They could get something with extra lockdown. Shadow Shaman is someone that teams just don't acknowledge anymore. I know he was nerfed down quite a bit, but he has great CC ability, and with wards you can add it even a bit more with the push.
Dazzled banned out. The 5th pick for Empire incoming. They'll need a support here. Something that can combo well with the Rubik. Maybe some reliable lockdown. We've seen them run the Sand King in the woods. That may be a little greedy. They like their roaming supports a bit better. We saw the Rubik Venge last time.
What about Earthshaker? I haven't seen Earthshaker in quite a while. Long range initiation. He's good at combo breaking any sort of maybe early movement that Hellraisers would consider.
Yeah, ES could be pretty good. He's ideally something that can threaten the Shadow Fiend as well mid. You run the troll or the brew there. If you get a Rubik +1, you can kill SF pretty easily. And HR don't have great defensive supports. Venge and Disruptor in the laning stage. Venge is obviously great later on, but early on they might be able to get some kills. So an ES would be pretty nice. Even another ranged hero that has right-click. Ogre's perfect, too. Just Bloodlust synergy with the Lycan and Troll. They push really hard now. Their right-click is fearsome. And, if it goes late, Dakota, I gotta say, you have Lycan who can build Abyssal Blade, Brewmaster who can, and it's the go-to build nowadays when it goes late. We don't really see, that Ags, utility brew. We see more of the heavy right-click. That plus Troll... Shadow Fiend eventually is just going to get run over by the Bash Lords if this goes late, the way it looks now. So if HR want to change that, they'll need a big combo breaker with this last pick.
This is vicious. This is Empire style, Blitzkrieg movement, and holy Toledo. I mean, Ogre just adding, and you got to remember the attack speed was boosted up from 500 to 600. Troll Warlord's one of those heroes that can actually achieve that. And with you put Bloodlust on top of it, plus you got Lycan and his Wolves, the Howl global bonus right there. I'm loving this Empire lineup, but a Bristleback, which is something that Empire very, very familiar with going against from the previous series, having to face it in all 3 games. It's now Hellraisers who are thinking that maybe they can have a chance at wielding this Bristleback and really taking it to Empire. So we'll see. What do you think the Bristleback really adds here to the Hellraisers lineup that could have an answer for Empire's like all-out assault and push?
So I think he actually adds a lot. He's really good against the Brewmaster split because Quills just destroy the Fire Panda. He's also tanky, so he can withstand a lot of punishment. Natural Crimson Guard builder against 4 heroes that get up in your face. You also have the Wolves to worry about, the Necrobook potentially. So I think Bristleback's great there. He also, when we saw him really successful earlier today, was with Venge as well as Dazzle. And both of those heroes have great minus armor as well as plus armor for the Bristle. So they have the Shadow Fiend Venge this time. Not quite as good for the plus armor. You don't have the benefit for him defensively, but you still get the minus armor from Shadow Fiend. I think this Bristleback could wreck Empire, but it obviously comes down to execution. Do they get his farm early? Do Empire manage to shut him down? Does Shadow Fiend become a liability? Oftentimes when we see Shadow Fiends mid, they just get ganked all game and never really get much farm. And you can see Empire going aggressive tri-lane right now. When you see teams go aggressive tri-lane, it's not necessarily just to shut down that lane. It's to give them the option of ganking mid from a very difficult angle to deal with. So we'll see if they stick with this. But with that said, Dakota, we should introduce the teams. I'll start with Empire. We've got Yoki on the Safe Lane Brew. Going mid is Resolution on the Lycan. Aloha Dance, the Rubik. He was sensational in game number 1. Silent, your Troll Warlord, and that leaves Always Wanna Fly, the mastermind for this team, on the Ogre. They're going aggressive with a Bristleback who needs some help, and it's coming.
Radiant side is going to be Hellraisers here, and, well, they're down 1 game already, looking to fight and take it to a game number 3. It's going to be Gork in your off lane, going to be playing your Puck. Mid lane, it's going to be Efo Ninja playing your Swag Fiend, the Shadow Fiend here. Bottom lane, it's going to be Dread playing your support Vengeful Spirit. Godham's going to be playing your Disruptor. And finally, Bristleback going to be played by someone that we can't seem to pronounce the name right of, but I'm going to say Arts anyways. He gets Telekinesis thrown right back into some Tomahawks, and maybe he was not expecting the aggro tri-lane because he is getting muscled down, and it looks like we're going to have an early first blood. Yes,
and he salve too. Oh no.
Oh, loses the salve, loses his life, and loses an extra 100 gold as he has to TP himself back into the lane.
That is painful. Bristleback, very difficult to kill, even as early as like just level 2. Having that 1 point in Bristleback makes a pretty big difference. But level 1 goes for Quills as you normally do, and unfortunately it costs him his life. This is going to be a tough lane for them early on, and Disruptor Venge are still a decent support duo. I think they do fine against a solo off lane or even a duel, but try on try with that kill. They'll still be okay, but they're not going to be dominating like they otherwise might.
Yeah, and like you were saying before, they could just easily muscle on forward, but when they have the space to step back, they could sneak in a rotation towards even that mid lane and add pressure there. When mid lane, Resolution is getting pressured and pushed back, Afo just muscles him all the way back up into his jungle side. And
he's wrecking this mid lane. This is a really nice start for Afo Ninja. Yeah, Lycan's melee, but he is Howl, and he's got really good base damage as well. So to be already plus 31 damage at 2 minutes, that is just absurd. 15 souls. I've not seen a Shadow Fiend wreck this hard in a very long time. It's good for him to be back.
Yeah, this is something we expect out of our Shadow Fiends here, but DD is going to be spotted out here on the bottom lane. As Always Wanna Fly is going to be that Ogre bodyguard, and as Gotham sweeps on through, tried to deny out the double damage, but it's going to be snagged up right there from Aloha Dance, who does rotate over, and because Disruptor saw it, he pings it out, and Shadow Fiend's obviously going to play it a little more safe here, knowing that Rubik is going to be nearby.
You know, Dakota, I really like your comparison of Aloha Dance to FY and Fenrir, because they really do play the same way. Just constant. If they're running like they might run like a Sand King that, you know, stacks the jungle and farms a lot, but they love these early rotations on supports, the aggressive tri-lanes, trying to get a first blood within like the 2 minutes after the creep spawn. They're just so aggressive in the laning stage, and now they swing around on Alpha Ninja, but he's going to play this one well, hugs near the tower, and should end up surviving.
That was, yeah, well, because that Disruptor just kind of gave him that bit of intel, and they were just going to wait. Like, where's Disruptor at now? He didn't return back to the bottom lane. He's got to be popping up somewhere, so Shadow Fiend just plays it back near the tower just in case, spots him there. Bottom lane, getting a bit awkward here. Always Wanna Fly is going to get thunderstruck and glimpsed all the way back. He has to get close for it and does get it, but now Godham's in trouble. Fire Blast connects on him. Silent looking to kind of go at it. It could be a trade of support for support in the end. They do strike first, but right after they take the other one down, and now Dread going to be forced to step back, but Bristleback continues to chase down Silent and gets enough stacks with those quills. He gets a double. He's going to get a triple. Coming right back from that first blood with now a fantastic 3-man takedown.
And as though that weren't enough, Alpha Ninja kills the courier mid. Resolution was trying to send it out. It did deliver, I guess, so it looks to be his bottle, but courier death, triple kill for your Bristle. They're right back in this one. And in fact, Puck is winning his off lane, 19-4 against the 12-3 Brew. You don't see Brew lose his lane very often. It's a bit harder in the side lane here against the range hero. And as we've been touching on, Shadow Fiend is just destroying. In fact, he's got a haste. Brew is not level 6. This could be massive. The triple raises here, and this is going to be tough to dodge.
He is done for. Let's see. He does have Drunken Haze. Doesn't even want to throw it out. He just is done for. So that's it. That's it. This is now turning into a 3-lane dominance coming out very early on from Hellraisers.
That's a 2,000 gold swing in 3.5 minutes, by the way. And he looks
look at this.
Ninja. I didn't even say anything positive, but I was thinking, man, the Shadow Fiend's owning, and then he whiffs a raise. So
that curse.
The caster jinx is so strong that you don't even have to say it anymore.
Yeah.
You just have to think it.
Always want to fly already there as the wants to turn the corner. Ooh, Dread. Hit briefly there. Now they know. Ooh, don't want to get too close here. Do this Bristle back. Uh-oh, no. Always want to fly. Tries to rotate forward here. Let's see if they can at least take down Dread. Shadow Fiend comes on through, and it's Vengeful Spirit gets the quick kill and always want to fly. And now Silent body block. He'll be able to TP away from this one. Fortunately, no glimpse. It's already on cooldown.
Still, damage is done. Force him to TP out, and Venge barely surviving. Everything just swinging HR's way. Gorak on track to a fast Blink Dagger. Shadow Fiend Midas inbound. The other main build we've seen on Shadow Fiend players is the Mech Rush. Gorak getting harassed a bit by Yoki top lane. In fact, he's going to pursue. Not level 6 yet, though, so no real kill threat. The Midas build was the build that Arteezy was doing a lot of back for EG when they used to run this hero constantly. The Mech build by Mushi generally fits really well with lineups that just look to run you over in the mid game. So Shadow Fiend generally has plenty of mana. The nukes are very cheap. You get treads and you micro them and use your bottle, and you have enough to support the mech cost. It can be very potent, but this build, of course, turns you into much more of a fearsome late game threat.
What about the Yules build?
The Shadow Fiend Yules?
Yeah, dude. Blink forward Yules. It's an instant hero delete. It allows the easy Requiem right after.
That is such a clown build.
Play. It's a pub play build that I know like Arteezy and like Sumail have been running with, but I would love to see it in competitive play. Now there's going to be a stun mid lane. Always want to fly, gets Thunderstruck, but he does still catch the glimpse, man. The range still even so good at level 2 brings poor Troll right back into the fray. And Empire now down 6-2.
Gorak, they're just waiting for this orb to be used the wrong way, and comes here like you with the double damager, and he just casually jaunts away. Wolves resummoned. Gorak duking out with them, but he may just have to orb over the cliff, and he'll play it safe here. So yeah, on top of running the Shadow Fiend mid, one of the reasons you do it is just because he pushes the lane, then you can just go to the jungle, stack the camps, and get a ton of additional income. So with the Midas on top of this, he has 2,300 more net worth than the Lycan and the Troll.
Yeah.
Literally doubling them now. He has almost 5,000. Unbelievably fat. This hero... Shadow Fiend's a great comeback hero, but Lord, if you let him get ahead, you are in for it, man.
Another glimpse back bottom lane. Silent. The auto attack, Thunderstrike, not going to be enough, and Bristle gets a little too excited about going for that kill, and he ends up dropping as well. Now as they make a move on to got him, it's going to force out a couple rotations here from Hellraisers, maybe looking to do another counter initiation of their own. Gorak drops down the real first coil of the game, and Always Want to Fly is going to fly back into the afterlife and back to the fountain.
Not the kind. I always thought it'd be cool if I could fly Dakota, but that's not the trip I'd want to be taking.
It's like a long layover. Been doing
you know
really
a lot
well
about those, buddy.
Yeah, right. Oh, he's in big trouble. Your Swagger Fiend have been doing so well up to this point. Could end up dropping here.
Blocks?
He's trying to
juke
and jive around, and the Wolfman is going to try to catch up. And eventually will be taken down, but it's a suicide bombing as he ends up taking Lycan with him. Got him, also going to fall into a bloodbath here in the mid lane as they lose 2-2. Dread still trying to tussle with the opposing support player here. Gorik now sweeps on through, and it looks like Always Wanna Fly is going to be flying once again.
What is this, Dota? They're still fighting!
But then he drops, it's the wave. Aloha Dance comes in, wants to tango with Dread a little bit here. With the help of these wolves, even Lycanthrope getting in on the action from the Afterlife and gets a double kill. Nicely done. That secures his Vlads. And Rubik picks up the stun.
Man, that was a suicide bomber for Lycan. He just runs in, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna die for this, but I'm taking you with me, Bubba. Drags him down to the murky depths, and in the meantime, there is a troll in this game, and of course, whenever you have troll, you just spam your ult on cooldown, and towers just start to melt. They still have incredible push potential. Empire also very good at taking Roshan, even though they were getting wrecked early in this laning stage and are still quite a bit behind. Don't underestimate how quickly they can turn this. Their lineup really hits its peak around, I would say, like the 20-minute mark. Then they kind of dip when HR start getting BKBs and Crimson Guard, those types of items.
Glimpsed. Lee off with the coil first. Tries to step back to see if he can maybe tussle with. Gorik goes back and beyond here. The Kinetic Field going to lock Silent in place, and he will end up going down. It's going to be picked up right there from. Got him on the Disruptor. Static Storm also going to be dropped, but they can't lock him in. But the swap back pulls him right into it. Very nicely done there. Another glimpse to follow, and now they're going to go for Always Wanna Fly. This is going to turn into a 3-for-1 trade. Double kill for Dread. Just as Hellraisers lose in that mid lane.
And the tower for Ninja. Mask of Death, or Morbid Mask out. Mask of Madness potentially incoming. And the best part for them is that this forces Resolution out of the pit, where he was busy roshing. And what do you know, Dakota Roche conveniently below half health. With the minus armor here, they will go into the pit. Do they have detection for the wolves, though? Uh-oh, this is the one thing that could screw them. Glimpsing back Silent, he won't be available to the edge. Does the Aegis get denied? No, he picks it up quickly. Killed by the Radiant, so a total win there for HR. But this may change. They lose one, Requiem unwound, connects on everybody, but doesn't finish anything off. Arts doing battle with the Brew, now will split, and Alpha Ninja gets Cyclone. They may end up killing him twice here, as his team is picked apart one by one. Gorik, still no ultimate just yet. Trying to bail out Alpha Ninja, gets out the raise, now stunned, will be brought down. But he's got another life to work with. Resolution scatters to the south. Yoki in danger here, in grave danger. The raise comes through, the coil deployed. This will be the death of Silent as well. Trying to fight his way through. He gets a bash, he needs a lot more than that though. Oh, turn, raise cooling down soon, just auto attack. He's not winning the man fight. The bash finally gets that auto attack off and manages to secure the kill. The lifesteal actually what kept him alive there as he skates away on 59 health. So they steal the Roche. They end up getting the Aegis as well. 8 heroes die in that fight. And when it's all said and done, it's only a 400 gold swing in their favor.
With the Roche also getting involved and being taken down, this is 28 kills in about 11 minutes. This is Dota at some of its best here. As these two teams are just ready to go into a real slugfest. They've downed their bottle of vodka, they've rolled up their sleeves, and they're just swinging and hoping to catch someone on the chin. Top lane, Yoki and Gorik Bat meeting one-on-one. Punk has managed to throw together about 1,300 gold trying to blitz for that blink, and look at Yoki on the other side mirroring that also 1,300. Would love to get his own blink, so these two blink boys are just trying to get their next item progression underway. Medallion going to be picked up here from your Lycan to help with that bit of minus armor, and now smoked up. Hellraisers rotate towards this top lane.
This is the Mask of Madness build on Shadow Fiend is very hot and cold. You get this item and they focus you, you will feed. But on the other hand, you can get some quick kills. Aloha Dance tossing him back, will get pounded. That's another easy one. Yoki with no split will also get dealt with. HR fighting when the Brew splits down and really taking advantage.
Good smoke, good rotation. Allows Hellraisers to have an opportunity to open up here in the top lane. Start doing some good damage here on this tier 1 tower. The rest of the Hellraiser squad looking to scavenge through the enemy jungle and make a full smoke rotation towards the mid lane. Always want to fly in Resolution. Busy going for the mid. They do have Shapeshift, but I think this is going to turn to Resolution saying, see you later, Always want to fly, good luck, buddy. And Always want to fly, it's like, thanks, man. He's dead.
Well, while that was going on, Troll also got killed off in the bottom lane. So they end up losing him to the Bristleback, it looks like, who then rotates back towards mid. In the meantime, Alpha Ninja fighting it out with Resolution. He pops his Mask of Madness now. Resolution actually used his ulti and didn't even really threaten the Lycan from the looks of things. Or the Shadow Fiend, rather. And now they're going to fight. They know Shapeshift's down. Brewmaster Split is up, but there's no blink yet on the Brew. 14 minutes. The Puck has its own blink, and still Brew searching for his.
Yeah, Hellraisers, they're feeling the momentum they got. They're not letting up one bit. They are still hanging around enemy territory here, and they could be overstaying their welcome. They're now coming back in this one. It's going to be a steal of Wave. Dread, big trouble here. The swap is going to save him temporarily. Static Storm Kinetic Field does drop, but it's not going to save the ally Dread Vengeful Spirit, but it's a solid single pick there for Empire.
They're not done yet, though. Yoki, no blink. He's got to walk in. This is awkward for him. But goddamn will be the freebie. He gets caught out in the river. The smoke gank ends up paying off for a secondary kill, but it's another piece of low-hanging fruit just to support. And unfortunately for Empire, no Roche to walk into. They could go for the mid-tier 1. Glyph not available for HR. Well, this will be a free tower. The trade is Shadow Fiend taking the tier 1 bottom.
Getting a lot up. They do lose a couple of supports, but not too shabby. Your Hellraiser's still in really good position as the mid-game gets ready to bloom here. We'll have to see. We're going to need some blinks to come online here for now Brew. Getting a hold of his. Puck getting a hold of hers / its. I don't know how you want to label the Fairy Dragon, but now we'll see who's going to go for the proper initiation to set things up. Still got 20 more seconds on this coil as Hellraisers make a full rotation towards this bottom end side. Resolution waits. It's just been relentless. Both teams just taking any opportunity like, hey, we're together, let's go. We got to find kills, we got to make it happen here, and they're looking here for Resolution. Very deep is this Bristleback trying to catch it. It's going to goo, and it's actually going to force out the Shapeshift. He just immediately gets back with the glimpse, sends him right back into the fray. Beautiful setup there. Resolution trying to run, but can't get away. Wow, they go deep for that one, and it certainly pays off.
And the Mighty Boar will celebrate by returning back to the base. In the meantime, though, Silent is just AFK. AFK farming this top lane, to be exact, and he's just not been able to offer them much in the fights, unfortunately. And that is the one issue with Empire. Their main hero that excels at fighting right now is the Brew. Rubik, Ogre, very good in the laning stage, but in these large-scale engagements don't offer as much as, say, a Disruptor. Goddamn gets caught out here. Your BKB Requiem unwound, though, and Yoki will die without getting off his split thanks to a great Static Storm. And we got a swap now. Always want to fly, quickly dealt with. Another takedown by Alpha Ninja. And they're just in fantastic shape. They'll take this tower. The tier 1 top was ultimately defended by your Bristleback, so Arts denies that to Empire. One thing after another, all of them seemingly favoring HR. We've had mostly back and forth games today, Dakota, but this one is a rout.
Yeah, and they're already up to 10K, the net worth lead above Empire. And Empire, man, they have got to hope that they can not get caught out like this with these huge smoke and gank movements coming up from Hellraisers. Maybe try to create some space, go for the next road, but just the amount of momentum Hellraisers have, I don't think they're even going to get the opportunity. Now they're placing down some aggressive wards and extra vision, putting a sentry up on the high ground. He knows he's being scouted out now from these wolves, so kind of just walks away for now. But hard stuff right now if you're an Empire fan. It's looking pretty staggering, and Hellraisers, you can tell it's a bit do or die. You want to take this to game number 3, long glimpse all the way back, but still takes that glimpse. Dread on the way out. The swap's there. The Brew split already out in full force. Connect still going to be dropped. Your Disruptor does end up going down. Now, Hell to break out as they look to move on forward. Swag Fiend drops out his BKB and he manages to muscle down the Rubik. 2-for-1 trade thus far coming in from behind. Puck now looking to let out. Resolution eating lots of damage. Forced to run out with the rest of that shapeshift, but they get Goric. Big stun going to be there. Silent with the double kill, and now Apple gets taken apart right there unmercifully. Silent, who had been farming out on his own, comes into this fight, grabs a triple. Now looking to get another one here. Art trying to run away, turns back, moves up, and it's essentially a 3-on-1. They want to wait for these Quill stacks to go on down, but he is going to be able to TP away.
What a disaster. Just when you think they're ahead, you get the total 180. 4 heroes dead.
You just jinxed them again, LD, saying that they're so far ahead. You hadn't seen such a dominating performance today, and everything was so close.
Dakota, that's a 4,600 gold swing. It's 4,300, something like that. Whatever. A ridiculous gold swing. A third of their lead incinerated. And you do see the weakness of this Shadow Fiend build. You go for Mascomantis BKB, you die to right-click very quickly. And that's where they just need to have a more organized fight. When HR gets a clean initiation with the Glimpse and the Static Storm, kills the Brew off the bat, or just forces the Lycan to ult and then die, they win that fight.
Look at this smoke up. We may have lost that fight, but we're going to tell you that we're coming right back into this one.
They wanted to Static Storm swap him in, but they didn't end up getting the range for the swap, and now Dread gets turned on. He'll jump in first and die. It was a really cool idea by HR, but I guess he just wasn't in range of the swap because the Brew started walking back this way. So it ends up being a wasted Disruptor ult and a death of Avenge.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that they were going to go for that swap first, but that does make sense. I guess if the swap was instant, the casting time between Static Storm and him being able to get off the insta-split would have been a bit hairy, but yeah, if it doesn't work out, it proves to be pretty devastating like we see there. So with that, Empire just continue to split push the bottom lane a bit, forces out the rotation there for Bristle, so they'll pull on back and take away this bits of farm from the jungle, and now Empire, what once felt like maybe they wouldn't be able to get an easy Roche on the next come around, might be feeling a lot more confident. You got a lot more farm building up on this Troll, who's getting pretty damn close to throwing together a BKB on top of his already reliable Yasha. I gotta say, Empire climbing back into this one tooth and nail.
Yeah, and if it goes late and it's even, I would actually favor Empire, I think. With Troll, Lycan, Ogre backing them up, Bloodlust still to be leveled up, you just get on somebody and they die. Like, you just chain bash them. Shadow Fiend will never get to right-click. I mean, this is looking forward quite a bit. It's not now, but more in like that 45 to 50, 60 minutes range, where if it just comes to raw DPS, lockdown, man-fighting potential, I don't think HR can take that. But they may be able to take it later with like a puck hack, some disruptor pickoffs. Still, I think HR should be nervous, not just because they lost the fight, but just because they want to keep on snowballing this advantage. Shadow Fiend was once doubling up the Lycan and Troll, and now he's only about, I don't know, 60, 70% ahead, something like that. So, need to keep the heat up.
Definitely. And what was once a 10k gold lead is now about 5k. So that's been already chopped down by half. Empire moving as a unit here. Know that the Roche is going to be up any moment. It is up. And just you can feel the tension here between both teams. Now smoked out. Hellraisers looking to come in from the bottom. These wolves,
the wolves are scouting, but they don't see them. This could end very badly. Oh, he whiffed the silence. He whiffed the coil. Oh no, Gorak, they need to back. No, they're going to jump in anyway. I always want to fight. Brew gets off a freebie split. Goddamn, now trap. After Ninja Chain Bash. This is all going wrong for HR. Silent will run them down. They're going to lose 2. It's going to be more than that, though. Dread scatters to the north. Nowhere to run. That's 3. It might be 4 if your puck can't escape as Bristle's controlled. Still TPing out as Gorak. He will make it out, but Bristle, not so fast. Arcs trapped. No lift. Do they have any form of stun? No bash coming out. Again, a disastrous fight.
Oh my god.
That's all it takes. They had the jump. HR with a bit of a choke here. And Empire in position. And what do you know? Dakota Roche is up.
This is even now.
This
Maybe
is
even better for Empire.
I think this is Empire favorite at this point.
Oh my god, some back-to-back opportunities to get a great initiation just unfortunately get spoiled, and Shadow Fiend just got slaughtered. Silent just went in his face, even with the BKB, and just couldn't get anything off. Oh,
see, that's what I'm saying about the Shadow Fiend in this. Like, Shadow Fiend's a BKB carry that needs to keep heroes at range, or to fight against someone who has no bash. But Troll has bash and his ulti, so he just goes on you and kills you. Not to mention the Bloodlust that you talked about earlier.
And how? How as well on top of that? It's ridiculous. It's so much right-click.
That's where they really need to get the defensive swap out, but Dread's got a lot to worry about in these fights. He's got to try to stun the Brew before he splits, swap out the Shadow Fiend if he's in danger. That's probably your main objective, though, is just make sure the Shadow Fiend doesn't get jumped. The issue for me, though, is you go for the Mascomantis BKB build, and it's meant to snowball. You don't go this build to just try and take these types of man fights. You're meant to just get clean pickoffs, 3v2, that type of thing, and if you're forced to go into a head-on engagement, one bash, you're just dead with all the bonus damage you take, and Silent's just bound to get a bash at this point.
Tower is under attack.
They gotta protect the Shadow Fiend.
Structures are fortified.
Not easy.
We'll see if they can do it. Yeah, not easy at all. And Shadow Fiend, what do you go for next at this point? He still has in reserve about 2,700 gold. Is he going to try to put forward a bit more damage and get like a butterfly just to prevent that in-face like right-click damage? Uh-oh, longest eclipse you've ever seen. Gets Yoki to a stack start, but he manages to walk his way out, so that split is going to be happening. And now, this setup, not going to be as easy as they'd hoped for. This is going to allow your Brew to just easily waltz on out. In fact, he's actually toying with them here, saying, hey, Silence coming. Maybe we can look for a counter initiation, but Hellraisers have already spread out pretty far here. But another attempted initiation, not going to happen.
I like Butterfly a lot this game. The main issue is Empire can just get MKBs. Lycan's a pretty decent hero for it. Troll's not bad for it either. So it's a good Butterfly game, but it's not a necessarily a solution. He will go Manta instead, which... you can dispel the Drunken Haze with this. Uh-oh, Gorak getting caught out of it? No, he'll be okay. Obviously, it's a decent split push item. It's good just to confuse the Troll so you don't get insta-chain stun, bashed, and killed, and... It's just, Shadow Fiend wants to be having this item when they are... Like, they could have been 8-9k gold behind if they hadn't lost the fight earlier. Or the 2 fights earlier, I should say. But, unfortunately, the times have changed, Dakota.
Oh, man, and have they?
They're looking for Yoki
now as far as net worth. Mid lane, though, Yoki, who does not have split anymore because of that tussle near the bottom river. Decides to jump forward, throws out the Drunken Haze. Sends him back. But still looking to engage. Always want to fly right there. Preserves. Maybe if this was last patch where Ogre has the farther casting range, he could have got a setup right there, but not now. Oh, steals the Eclipse. Eclipse is back. How about a taste of your own medicine, sir? Takes down Disruptor. Nice little pick. Nice little steal right there from Aloha Dance on his Rubik.
Oh, I wrote in the wrong spot. That's an MVP play right there, Dakota.
That's his MVP?
Yeah. Doesn't on your screen?
It looked pretty like a 4-year-old wrote it. MVP!
I hate you. They're gonna push mid now. Seriously though, this Rubik play has been sensational from Aloha Dance. He's really impressive.
He's, I think, undefeated still. That means 6.83 with it. He won that previous game, and they already were 4-0, so now being 5-0, potentially 6-0 if Empire continue to bounce back. But, well, after they take that tier 2, Hellraiser's pushing on forward here. Even BKB going to be popping from Shadow Fiend, but back on the back inside. You see Coil going to be there, and Snap Force from the Vengeful Swap. And now Status...
Oh, he almost got off the split.
Oh! Now, Resolution hunting down the Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend can't get away with the bashes there, and Silent. Wicked 6 slashes him apart, but Silent pretty low now, goes towards Dread, will drop. Dread goes down regardless, 2 for 2. Now Resolution trying to get away, but Bristle will be able to hunt him down. Aloha forces himself up to the high ground to get away from this one, but as you can see, Aegis gonna be popped right here. Bristle now waiting for the second life, but here comes Always Wanna Fly, throws out the stun. Gets the multi, but I think it's just a sacrifice to allow his wolf buddy to be able to get away.
It's a comeback! Now Aloha Dance in trouble! 4 heroes dead, plus the Aegis. What in the world is this Dota? What was once looking like an easy HR stomp turns into what appears to be an inevitable Empire comeback, and just when you think you have a grasp on the game, they promptly get wiped, if you count the Aegis, and it swings right back the other way. I don't even know what I'm watching anymore, man. At this point, it's just hard to say. My main worry for HR, though, is that the Shadow Fiend continues to rack up deaths, and it just feels like when they jump him, he gets run over, but maybe that's where Arts will have to pick up the slack and become the Bristle Beast.
Now look at him! Just moving right on forward. Not a care in the world, as he wants to go right for the Wolfman. Only steps back for now. Here comes your rotation. Always Want to Fly steps back in, but yeah, it was a very awkward engagement. You had 2 different small skirmishes breaking out between the Shadow Fiend pushing back and behind the lines, and then a great coil set up from below. And it seems like Empire worked best when they're more of a fine-tuned unit. So being spread out like that seemed to put them outside their comfort zone, and it was Hellraisers who were able to capitalize and came out on top.
Alright, Roche respawning potentially in 2 minutes here. Brew gets his BKB. This is crucial versus the Disruptor. Ags is still ways off for him. They now have no reliable way to stop the split, unless they manage to blink, silence him, then stun him, and maybe they get a Bristleback Bash. It looks like he will go for the Bash with that Belt of Giant Strength, as we were talking about, so... basically they're going to have to deal with the brew split. Bristleback's good against it, but it seems like the one thing that's been weird in the last few fights is like Shadowfiend keeps on chasing the Ogre Magi, and I feel like for HR, their target selection just hasn't really been the best. He pops BKB, Mask of Madness, he started running after Ogre, then he's like, okay, I'm going to Requiem instead. Ideally, you want to be focusing down this Rubik, kill the Brew before he can split, maybe go on the Lycan or Troll, the more crucial heroes for the fight.
Troll has a Wolf also to work with here, and he wants to fight. BKB, and oh, he gets caught in the coil and snapped, and now he's going to get ripped apart. Oh, Silent dropped immediately, but the Wolfman now trying to get into this one. Brew's going to pull out that split. Resolution trying to make it away. Does step out back in the face while Dance and Goric go toe-to-toe. Always want to fly, getting scared out from Bristle, and back and behind they, well, almost take him down. Mules still there, always want to fly. Does end up dropping, still cycloned up. Bristle will be caught in behind. Ends up being 2 for none. Goric almost goes down, but that was unfortunate there for Silent. Well, at least he thought he was going to have the opportunity to run in there and release a Fury, but ends up just releasing a stun onto himself because of that coil.
Yeah, there was a Courier in that fight too. So Courier manages to feed as well while we're at it. That,
it was just a shit show.
that Puck Ags coil totally caught him off guard. He BKB'd. Normally you just BKB run in there and you just start racking up kills as Troll, but because they will run from you. But when you break that coil, ridiculously long duration stun, and they have a really cool combo with the Venge plus the Puck Eggs coil. So very easy to break it, guarantee the stun even on these BKB heroes. It's a potent tool, and it's actually one form of reliable lockdown that we did not talk about at all yet, but it could be a tide turner moving forward.
Yeah, that certainly helps at this point in the game, and what could add on top of that potentially in the near future is if this Disruptor finishes off his Ags, he's got 2 components, and then all those BKBs or anyone caught under the Static Storm is not going to be able to use those BKBs and walk away as easily. So now Hellraisers are formulating a really significant and nice synergetic team fight here, taking it back to Empire, a team that has multiple BKBs and multiple ways to try to avoid any sort of heavy assault. Really like it right here, especially if Disruptor gets that Ags. It's going to be very nice.
Bristleback Basher now coming out. They're going to Lycan Morph. Okay. He just wants to run the hell away, I guess. The rest of the team will scatter, and they will happily claim their prize, the mighty Ancient Granite Golem. I do like this from HR. It's very important versus the Lycan, getting the gem so that the Wolves are not constantly scouting you now. It hasn't really cost them in too many cases this game, but there was a game I cast the other day where Eternal Envy and Bone 7 basically single-handedly won a game just by... They had a Bat Rider, and they just send the Wolves around, BOT onto the Wolf, lasso somebody, get a kill. They can be a game-breakingly strong tool if you're not careful, so I like the gem pickup a lot.
Both teams know Roaches will be back up, so they want to have a skirmish here. Silent, so his BKB's pop. There's that swap snap we were just talking about, and now Silent going to be caught behind me, while on the other side, they get a hold of Rubik and just slaughter him. Now Shadowfiend wants range to work with, gets it, unloads on the bottom. You can see Silent, who's still alive here, still trying to dance with him between the 3. They do take him down. 2 down, 3 down, double kill for Shadowfiend here. Brew has to step away, and it's another great fight for Hellraisers, and this is going to allow them to move right into Roche right afterward.
The Butterfly is just doing so much work. They need MKBs now. They need MKBs, maybe a Hex, but they don't really have a natural Hex carrier. Maybe Brew, he's not that farmed. Without that, Shadowfiend's pretty difficult to kill. They're all about the right click. They don't have that much nuke damage. And if you're not damaging him, he's just going to lifesteal and basically never lose HP, because he hits a lot harder than these Empire heroes. Either that or the lucky bashes, but HR, this game, easily in their grasp, then fell apart. Now they've seized it back, and they look here to force that deciding game number 3.
They're knocking at the mid lane door here. Empire need to consider a defense. Troll still down for another 8 seconds. Your Ignite. Catch out here on the Bristle. There's your multi-stun. He does have the cheese, if necessary. You can swallow that down. He's going to wait and hold it for now. There's your coil going to be dropped. Snap. Nope, it's not long enough to catch out the snap. Now they turn on to Dread and take him down. Also, Disruptor in big trouble here. They just, oh man, that's 2 down right away. Uh-oh, now they want Bristle.
No,
God.
what is this game?
Back
Not again, HR, you had it! 4 dead! It's gonna be 5 unless Shadow Fiend can miraculously turn it. He gets run over, dead once, gonna die a second time. Dakota, stop the madness! No more! Mercy! Mercy for our hearts! There is none here. A 6,000 gold swing right back the other way, straight down mid. As HR just cannot close out Empire. Dare I say it, the Empire about to strike back.
For the second time. It's 2.0. The second trilogy here. If you're a fan of either team, you're having a heart attack this game. They're right back into the other base, and they are just unleashing a fury onto this tier 3. They're going to go for the racks as well. Everyone back, not Shadow Fiend, who does have a buyback. He's going to be forced to use it here. One rack's very low. Empire, they might have overstayed. They do finish out that racks, but they're thinking about getting the hell out of there. Resolution says, I'm gone. Silence says, I'm going to stay as long as possible. He does end up going down, so... well, they only lose one. Empire, after a huge Team White, end up clearing out the racks, and now it's their game. Unbelievable. Well, they want the brew here. Little Wind Panda trying to hide, but they got that gem. Sorry, buddy, you can't get away. Oh,
They actually don't have the gem.
Oh, the coil. It's going to be used just to get him. How did they see him then? They just scouted him out with
I think because he was just too close to the tower, maybe?
Ah.
I don't see... unless, like, maybe one of them's holding the gem, there's some weird visual glitch. I don't know, man. We had a game yesterday where Andrew and I were casting where you couldn't see heroes on the minimap, so... Dota's been a little wonky, maybe. I'm guessing they were just near the tower.
I've noticed that, too. There was a point yesterday that my Roshan clock just straight up disappeared, so... Dota, come on. You're drunk.
Okay, well, right back the other way. Brew has buyback. He used the split, though, and which means no split for this push. For 30 seconds. Glyph is available. They should be using it soon. They will use it right now. They're prepping for the defense. They'll have several extra lives here. Lycan and Troll both with buybacks. 7 lives to hold the line. This is going to be dicey. They go for the range racks, the easy takedown. So they just back now. So they want the melee. Tough call. I think you back. Your Shadow Fiend bought back. If he dies, then... And Arts did as well on the Bristle. Then it's... actually, Puck did too. That was a triple buyback. So I still think big advantage Empire there. They take racks, they preserve buybacks, and they have 5 minutes where HR are one bad death away from losing the game.
Back the other way! Look at them charge down this mid lane. They know that they have buybacks on their side, while HR don't. If they get any sort of upper hand in a big team fight here, it's going to be huge losses to the HR base. Look at him go, smoked up now, trying to get hold of anyone. Bristle, who's gone into the secret shop to maybe try to quick buy. He could get caught out here, has to be careful.
They want to go on mid now. Instead, this could be a disaster. Gorek and Viz, though, able to retreat. And Empire, do they bull rush it? They don't all have buyback. In fact, Troll no longer does. He spent his gold on a Demon Edge, and MKB not yet out.
Okay, well, maybe if they got a caught out there, it would have been good. So without that, they'll step back, and this could be a calming point now. We had a bit of a crazy period there, and I think now we could see a bit of a calm before maybe the next Roche, and that could be a next pinnacle point. But for now, Empire will just try to keep these lanes pushed past the river and have their own jungle to work with. But I say that, and Hellraiser's draw on the map here that they got their own game plan. They smoke up, and even though majority of them are not going to have a buyback very soon, they're eager to make a fight happen here. And they're going to go right into the Empire Woods.
They chase in. Arts. This is a bold move, considering there's no buyback. He's going to find Resolution. Quickly, the fight begins. Aloha Dance gets immediately bashed to the face, goes down. Resolution can't fight against it. The Puck coil holding him in place. He may fall. He gets bashed. He will end up dying. Shadow Fiend unwinds the Gargantuan Requiem, and they have them on the run. Lycan buyback doesn't have his ult, though, so he can't really do much. Now always want to fly getting stunned. He's brought down as well. Even your Brewmaster split may end up dropping here. He heads to the left. He's going to try to rock away, and they are wasting some time with this, but Troll, no buyback. Rubik, no buyback. Ogre, no buyback. Lycan, has the ult now in 20 seconds, but mid lane's pushed in. Thank God for Empire. They hang on for a moment.
Gotta say, interesting choice there from Silent. He decided that he wanted to focus down the bristle, and he's just like right-clicking down his back and side, which of course draws up all these coils. And this kind of helps out in slaughtering everything. And yeah, that was very interesting. A good catch out right there from Hellraisers and set up very nicely with that Goric coil.
I have to say, Dakota, this Puck Aghanim's coil is winning them the game. That is the #1 reason they're able to take these fights. Because you drop the coil, they have to stay near the Shadow Fiend, but they also kind of have to run away because Bristleback's banging on them. And then Shadow Fiend just goes to town with the triple raise, the Requiem, now building an MKB it looks like, or maybe he just goes for an Abyssal Blade just so he can man-fight these heroes, but it's the Puck Aghanim's just such a big buff to this hero, making a huge difference. That used to be the worst Aghanims in the game, I would say, or definitely on the short, like, top 10 list. One of them.
Puck being as popular hero as it's been, and Vengeful Spirit being considered platinum tier as far as supports go, it's no surprise that the synergy between the two of them will hop up from time to time and looks very good. It definitely works here in a lineup where there's lots of BKBs and well, lots
let's
of heroes
just go back down
face.
mid. Let's just okay, they're not going to do it.
Russian table tennis here as they go back and forth.
It's true though. It really is.
Oh boy, so Roche, we'll find out exactly how long we'll have to wait before potentially both teams look to have a very, well, sketchy time there. This is just really high octane in the game.
Shadow Fiend might be reaching that point where they just can't deal with him. MKB now complete. Bristleback about to finish an AC. These are end game level of items that they're about to acquire, and like in Troll, not quite there yet. The Troll MKB is very important. I feel like a lot of it just comes down to the Puck coil. You remember that fight bottom where Goric whiffed the coil? Instantly 5-man wiped. Or 4-man wiped it. I forget which it was, but that type of thing can easily happen again if he screws up.
Yeah.
So don't count either team out just yet.
Pressuring forward, Hellraisers, not looking to commit to a high ground push yet, but maybe just trying to push them back in. It's a very low timer. Roche is actually already back up now. And that's going to force what looks like Aloha Dance to come right back in to the base here. They see Disruptor plant down that ward. Well, they quickly take out that ward. Their one rack still standing here. The melee racks could be under pressure. They do have the glyph if they want to use it, but...
Oh, Puck just wasted his coil. Went for the troll pickoff. Not successful.
Uh-oh.
It's not the longest cooldown spell. By the time Empire would get down mid, it would more or less be up. But maybe they try to at least get out of their base now. Aloha Dance is moving in. And he's going to steal something here. Ooh. It is
Static Storm. That's a good grab.
He doesn't have
Aghanim's yet. He's real close, though. He's 200 gold away. He'll have an Aghanim Static Storm. That's big. Yeah, I bet he knows that. He's like, guys, I got to get 200 gold pretty damn fast. That'd be a huge ult. Huge ult for them. If they get caught into a coil fight where they want to like get into a close quarters engagement, that Static Storm would be huge for them. Oh boy.
That now I just don't know. With the Rubik X Factor, now he could steal the Puck coil potentially. Not the easiest spell to steal by any means, but if he somehow does, game-winning spell right there. I'd say that and the Static Storm, the two biggest ones. Glimpse could be huge as well.
Yeah.
The one thing Aloha Dance is lacking is that Blink Dagger, though, just for extreme mobility. But Dakota, it hangs in the balance now. Empire. They could close them out 2-0. They can make this easy and clean. Or they can do it the hard way and go to a game 3.
Both teams circling the Roche pit here. Tension high. Now with Empire, they have that extra Aghanim Static Storm in their own arsenal. Got to be feeling pretty confident here. They're doing a long rotation over. I don't think Hellraisers have vision here. This could be a nice flank play from Empire. They creep on forward. Bristle leading out the charge on the side. They could scout him here. They could turn back. There's going to be the glimpse back. He's got to get it off, and he does. Static Storm onto 4, and Yoki moves right in on the action, and now Hell breaks out. DJ has a very nice spot right in the middle of the trees. Unloads the right-click Fury, but the split comes out the last second. Swap back now. Resolution eating the Fury of those right clicks. Lives barely runs out. Rubik, though, not so lucky. Ogre goes down. Troll goes down. Empire had a flank attempt to move on forward, but they are not going to win this fight. Afo Ninja comes out on top with a double kill, and now the Roche going to be next up on the docket. Empire, we're hoping for a big play there, and they don't get it.
That was with a 4/5 hero Disruptor Static Storm with the Aghanim Scepter upgrade in a great position, and they still couldn't take the fight. Bristleback just charges past it, everybody else backs off behind it, and HR, the Shadow Fiends just getting to that point. One item too far ahead, it feels like, with Bristleback now matching him blow for blow, closing out on an Abyssal Blade. They're just not getting any kills. The Brewmaster splits falls off pretty hard at this stage if he doesn't have enough items, and Shadow Fiend just able to right-click it down, so Brew feels fairly useless. Your supports on Empire, especially that Ogre, just dies almost immediately. They also just didn't get to right-click the Shadow Fiend. Troll finally got to run at him at the end of that fight, but it's hard to get up close to him. You try to go near him, you get Glimpse back, you get Static Storm kinetic fielded, you get coiled, and then they swap you to break it. They swap the Shadow Fiend out if he's in danger. HR just have so many ways to deal with Empire running at them that they just can't get the job done.
I might be blind here, but where's the Aegis at? Who has the Aegis here?
Oh, the Lycan denied it, actually.
Oh, he did? Okay. I didn't even notice.
That was... that was not expected. Actually, good call.
It's just like,
there's been a lot going on this game.
Shadow Fiend. Who has the Aegis? No one has it. All right. I didn't even notice. Nice little cheeky play there. Lycan actually denies that.
I guess with the Wolves, probably? Yeah.
Yeah, probably was scouting it out and got the nice little last hit in. And, well, here we go. Hellraisers, though, trucking on forward.
I don't know if they need the Aegis, honestly. They might be that big. Let's see, though. Here comes the Siege. Arts, Aphaninge in close together. Working on the melee racks. Stun onto Arts. He turns, though. Blink clap. Aphaninge going for the dodge, and he turns onto Yoki, finishes him off. No Brewmaster split. He swapped back a bit, but it's right next to Silent. The Chain Bash is there. Troll brings him down. Shadow Fiend buyback instantly into the fight. He's going onto the catapult. They focus Silent. That's 3 dead. Both of your cores. Bristleback healthy. And they go now for the GG. We're going to a deciding Game 3.
Game 3 high? Oh my God.
Aegis not required.
Wow. What a game.
I don't know how Game 3 tops that, actually. Can we just pretend this was the last game of the series? Let's hope it lives up to the hype, man.
Good stuff. Good stuff. It was questionable there for a while. HR pulling out the Mask of Madness. Shadow Fiend, they had missed all those initiation attempts, and it looked like Empire were going to be able to make a big comeback, and then disaster strikes for them, and holy Toledo. It's Hellraisers who hold on and pull out another amazing bring-back play, and now we got a Game 3.
Yeah, now Game 3 coming. HR versus Empire. This one going the distance. You're watching the Dota 2 Asia Championships. We're only in the European qualifier, and none of these teams have even guaranteed themselves a slot yet at the LAN finals, but the winner of this will at least go as a wild card. The loser drops down to the losers bracket. A lot at stake here. You're watching Beyond the Summit. I'm LD. He's KOTLguy. We shall return after this.